reason why I would love robotics is the amount of things we can do, plus I can hang out with my friends, but I learn something every day that I would not normally do in my normal life.
Everyone comes together and they all come up with ideas on how to do these games and make robots, make something that can do all of this stuff.
My friends are here and I get to hang out with them and build with them, and it's just a lot of fun.
It's just because it gives me the opportunity to actually what I want to do for engineering wise, basically, because I really want to go to college for engineering.
How I can learn from others, learn from my friends, and we can work together to work on larger projects and make the whole thing.
I mean, I get to socialize with friends, but also get to do important stuff for the team and help out. And I mean, I'm learning a lot along the way, so that'll help me with college.
It's very empowering to know you can change stuff. And I don't know, I like the team building part of it.
To be able to be a part of something that can become something greater than just this team here in Louisiana. We can become something that can go all the way to Worlds or Einstein. And
it's just something I found whenever I came into high school. It's just, as soon as I joined, my brain just started thinking, and this is just something that I found my passion to do. It means a lot to me. This is a third family for me. I always want to be here. I always want to spend time here. I'm always working. This is stuff I love to do.
I think I'm finally at my place. I feel like these are the people who I can really get with, and being a part of the team and really working for something that we all want to do well in is really cool.
It's kind of like a family. I'm able to get out, do something, work on stuff. I love how it goes from a simple design on a piece of paper, just a thought, to something big, massive that we're driving around at competitions. It's just something fun to do. I love building with my teammates and competing at competitions and everything about it.
So the business team essentially is taking care of all of the awards that don't have to do directly with the competition or the robot. So there's an award called Spirit Award, which is exactly what it sounds like. The team who shows the most spirit and is the most hyped up during the competition wins that award. And it gets you, I think, a small trophy, but really it's just to make sure that they're giving out as much awards as possible. But it's still really exciting to win, because that means that you're known as, hey, that team is really excited all of the time, even if they don't get into the quarterfinals, or they don't make it into eliminations. Then if we can get them with us, then we can have more people cheering for our team, which really helps with the drivers' motivation and helps keep the overall morale up, which is really good for us in driving the robot, because a lot of things can go wrong all of the time. But business is overall, we focus on the Woody Flowers Award, which is an award where we write up an essay as students to nominate a mentor, to be like, this is a really good mentor. They are the embodiment of FIRST, and we want to thank them for that. And so that is our way of saying thank you. We nominate them for the Woody Flowers Award, and then they win at a regional level. Once they win at the regional level, they go on to World. If they don't win that World, then we can re-nominate them for a World at any time. We're allowed 2 submissions at any one time, one to send one of them off to World if they've already won regional, and then one to win regional. We have the Chairman's Award, which is now called the First Impact Award. They changed the name this past year, and it's essentially asking us to write around a 10,000 character essay about how we have brought FIRST and STEM into our community. So they're asking about what teams we've started, what we've done to show off our robot, to show off the program, and really what we've done to help FIRST as a community grow. And so it includes helping other teams, all of that sort of stuff. In the same vein, we have the Engineering Design and Development Award, which is similar to Chairman's, except we don't present it in a meeting with judges, because Chairman's you present it in this small classroom. You're presenting to 3 judges, and then there's 3 of you. You memorize your essay or your script, and then you present it. The Engineering Design and Development Award is where they're asking you both about your robot and about what you've done for your community. And so it's really a lot of okay, so why is this part on your robot? Why are you using these wheels, this drivetrain? As well as what have you done for your community and things like that. Both chairmen and engineering design development can get us a spot at World as a team. And so the business team as a whole is really focusing on those 2 awards specifically. So it's really grown in that it's definitely much more of a team now. We have around 6 to 7 members, and that is a huge increase from last year. I was actually the only person working on business team stuff during the year. There's someone, her name's Melanie. She helped me present the award and helped me deal with it at competition. But because she was on build team majority of the time, she was largely helping out with the robot. And so I was actually the one who was creating the presentation, making sure that we had all of the materials and all the information gathered that we could. And because we have the business team now that it is the size that it is, it's not too big. And so we don't have like nobody sitting around doing nothing. But this way we're also able to present and submit essays and videos and presentations for all of the awards that we can, rather than just focusing on 1 or 2 awards like we did last year. This year we're focusing on about 3 to 4 awards instead of the 1 to 2. And it's really helpful because this means that we can go with the Chairman's Award or First Impact Award this year, which is really exciting for our team.
So one of the things we have that a lot of teams don't have is we have a full field size that we can make use of. We have a gym with a very large roof. We have a machine room that has, machines in it that a lot of people don't have access to. And so what that means for us is it gives us more resources to pull from. You find teams that build out of classrooms that build amazing robots, even though the height of their ceiling's not very high, or maybe they don't have a full build site they can use. It just changes the variables that they have to operate with. We have a lot of open space, and we have a lot of amazing equipment. And so we're able to use that to kind of give us a boost when we build, because instead of having to use metal that's cut from a company, we can custom cut that metal ourselves. Or instead of having to wait till we get to a competition field to see how our robot really work, we have the space to be able to drive, practice, and test things out autonomously, and all of these things that are important to having a really successful season.
So I'm Logan LaBauve. I'm the mechanical manager for Denham Venom. And this is the game field for this year, where we're going to be doing a lot of our practices, a lot of driving around, learning how to maneuver around the field, and getting up on that platform and seeing how our robots work and how that thing works with our robots, because it moves up and down and it tilts. So we're going to be driving onto it, seeing how to balance, and doing a bunch of drive practices and learning the field. So this is last year's robot, Hoverfly. It was made to do last year's tasks, which is to pick up a ball, shoot it into an 8 foot 8 inches high goal, and it could only hold 2 of them. And it has swerve drive, which these 2 motors, one controls the wheel turning that way, and then one controls the wheel actually turning. We have pneumatics tubes over here, so we can control pneumatics to drop and lower and pick up our intake so we can actually get the balls. And then this is our shooter, where we have a little hood that's able to spin up, and it's able to aim the balls to where we want to shoot it. This Limelight was able to scan a reflective tape along the rim of the goal, and this Limelight scanned that and then instantly plugged in calculations that our programmers plugged in to angle the hood at the right angle and shoot it the perfect amount we would want it. So this is our machine shop, where we have a lot of our saws, drill press, band saws, and 2 CNCs. This CNC behind me is a CNC for mainly smaller things. it has a fluid that's able to cool it down, and it drills while spraying that fluid, so it gets a clean, nice cut, and it's not so hot when we cut it. So this is our big CNC, where we use it to cut mainly wood and Lexan, like plastics and all that stuff, where it has that base where the drill bit will go all the way through and kind of drill into that base. So every now and then we might have to like flip it over or change it out for a new one. We have a massive vacuum on it that goes into the other room, and all the like wood shavings and plastic shavings go into that little bag so we can easily dispose of it. And we plug in a program to cut exactly what we want, and it knows exactly where to start and cuts out all of it. So this is the computer that we use to control the big CNC, where we could plug in the programs for it to cut out different pieces that we need, and we can zero out the drill bit, like zero it out at a lower or higher point, and we're able to simply click a button that makes it run, and it cuts everything. So this is where we're gonna practice placing cones and placing cubes. Those boxes are called the cube nodes, and we can only place cubes there. Like, we can't place cones. And then those pegs is where we place the cone nodes. And we place cones and we try and line them up, and that's how we're gonna practice, see if our robot works and is able to place on different heights. Down at the very bottom, you can either put cubes or cones. They're called a hybrid node, and we're gonna just pretty much practice placing cubes and cones on the pegs and then on the boxes, and seeing if our robot works how we want it to. This thing is the charging station, and when robots get onto it, it's gonna tilt one way depending on which way the robots get onto it, and pretty much we have to balance it out to try and earn extra points. I'm Logan LaBauve. Thank you for joining us on the STEM Gym tour.
This is a gradient pellet, so it cycles through the pellets.
So this week has been kind of more prototyping, testing, figuring out like the details of what we're trying to do. So generally what you look at is like the first couple of weeks, you have a rough idea of what you want to do. And then as you nail that down, then you start going, okay, now that I know the shape of what I want to build, now let's start working on like if I move a wheel up here a little bit or down here a little bit, or I change the size of something or how sticky something is or whatever motor I'm using. There's just like a ton of variables that you use. And so what we're doing this week is we're changing the variables, right? We're trying different size wheels on our intakes. We're seeing how big we want our frame to actually be. All of those things kind of play a part in what we're doing. So I think the biggest progress we're making this week is we're getting our final geometry of what we want the robot to look like. Everything from how big the drivetrain is going to be to how tall our mechanisms are going to be used, all those things like that. It's going along really well. I mean, I think from what I've seen from most police that we watch, like videos and people that are doing stuff, this is the hardest design they've had to do in a while. So picking up cones has been as hard as we thought it would be. Can we pick it up in every orientation? What orientations can people not pick up in? For example, we're finding out that, hey, getting cones from the back if they're laying down is just very, very difficult to do. And so one of the things you start doing is you start eliminating possibilities. So, okay, we can't pick up from the back, so what does that mean? Well, our drivers just have to drive around it, and we have to design with that in mind.